The Prime Minister of Estonia, Kaja Kallas, and the Secretary of State, Taimar Pitikop, have been put on the wanted list in Russia. Criminal proceedings were opened under the article on destruction and damage to monuments to the Soviet military. Russian journalists found that the Minister of Internal Affairs of the aggressor country had brought similar so-called charges against no less than 160 European politicians and officials.
Based on the meager data in the search database, it is difficult to understand by what logic investigators choose those responsible for the demolition of Soviet monuments, but they, as a rule, end up on the wanted list after public statements and instructions from the head of the Investigative Committee of Russia, Alexander Bastrykin. At the end of 2022, Bastrykin instructed his subordinates to take care of the authorities of Estonia, where they dismantled the memorial in the form of the T-34 tank in Narva and other Soviet monuments, from the publication of the Media Zona Russian edition.
The Estonian government decided to demolish Soviet monuments in the country in August 2022. It also affected Narva, the most Russified Estonian city. Here, among other things, the monument to the T-34 tank was dismantled. It was moved to the military museum. This decision helps us focus on our most important tasks, ensuring the security of Estonia and helping the entire Estonian people overcome the crisis caused by the war against Ukraine, Kaja Kallas said then. She will continue to work on the decommunisation of Estonia and actively support Ukraine even after the decision of the Russian so-called law enforcement officials.
Throughout history, Russia has veiled its repressions behind so-called law enforcement agencies. I know this from my family history. When my grandmother and mother were deported to Siberia, the KGB issued the arrest warrant. The Kremlin now hopes this move will help to silence me and others, but it won't. The opposite. I will continue my strong support to Ukraine. I will continue to stand for increasing Europe's defense. Kallas, Prime Minister of Estonia, on X social network.
After the start of the full-scale Russian invasion, Tallinn began to actively distance itself from Moscow. After all, its aggressive ambitions are not limited to Ukraine. Due to hybrid threats, Estonia, following Finland, may close its borders with Russia.
At the end of 2023, Russia has deliberately directed to the Estonian border groups of foreigners lacking the legal right to enter the European Union. If these activities continue, they will be forced to close border crossing points in order to protect national security and public order. From a message on the Estonian Police and Border Guard Department website.
Another step towards decolonization by Tallinn is the abandonment of the Russian language in education. From autumn of 2024, the transition to Estonian as the only language of education will begin in all schools and kindergartens in the country. Today, 175 teachers are preparing for the transition by attending language courses.
The transition to Estonian language education all over Estonia is certain, and there will be no grace periods. Narva is moving along with the rest of Estonia toward Estonian language education on the same schedule and under the same conditions. Municipalities may request permission to continue Russian language education in individual forms, rather than at the entire school at once. However, these exceptions are unlikely to be made. Ingar Dubalazov, coordinator of the transition to Estonian language education at the Ministry of Education of Estonia, in a comment to ERR.
In addition to high-ranking Estonian officials, the Russian Ministry of Internal Affairs wanted list also includes clerks, cultural figures and military personnel from Lithuania, Latvia, Poland, Ukraine and other European countries. Each of the cases brought against them was opened solely for political reasons. Reported by Valeria Nikipelova, Halina Babenko, UATV News.